Sooner, everybody. My name's Harry James. The next team to preview on the OU football preview list is probably the rowdiest team in the Big 12. And possibly quite the rudest. Now, I take OSU and Texas out of it because obviously they don't like us anyways. Particularly no team in the conference likes the brand of Oklahoma. But I've heard from other teams, other sources, that Texas Tech is very rude to them also. Outside of Texas Tech, Baylor, and TCU, by the way, also. The Red Raiders went 5-7 last year, 3-6 overall for the Fighting Kingsburys of Texas Tech. We'll preview the Red Raiders coming up next. Boomer Sooner 1982. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show, everybody. My name's Harry James. The Texas Tech Red Raiders are from Lubbock, Texas. They play at SBC Stadium, or AT&T Stadium, I guess, or AT&T Field in Lubbock, Texas, on the home of Texas Tech. The Red Raiders of Texas Tech went 5-7, 3-6 in Big 12 play last year. They finished sixth in the conference, tied with Baylor and Texas. Their final game or bowl game of last year for 2016 was against the Baylor Bears. Normally they play at AT&T Field. This was played at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, and the Red Raiders ran away with it, 54-35 over the shameless Baylor Bears. Their crazy coach, Hottie McCoach, Cliff Kingsbury, in his 5th year in front of Raider Nation, has been there since 2013. Returning starters, of course, Patrick Mahomes, or Pat Mahomes, not part of this crew, going in the first round to the Kansas City Chiefs. So replacing him at quarterback, you got to put somebody back there, and you know they're going to put up big numbers just because it's Texas Tech. And he's going to try to do that this year as number 16, Nick Shimonek. He's the returner last year. In a reserve role, he passed for 464 yards and 6 touches and 1 interception last year for the Raiders. Their backfield, pretty loaded back there. 103 carries and 64 carries. Number 32, Delon Ward. He had 103 carries for 428 yards and 3 touchdowns for the young gun from Lubbock. Number 27, Demarius Felton, number 6, had 64 carries for 354 yards and 3 touchdowns last year for the Red Raiders of Tech. Now, they were usually played from behind from last year, and they had Pat Mahomes who can put it on a dime. So they really didn't run the ball very often, as you saw last year. But they can pass the ball like anybody can. helping him do that, number 20, Courtney Kiki. And number 14, Dylan Cantrell. We'll start with 20, Courtney Kiki. 55 receptions for the young gun for 580 yards and 7 touchdowns last year for the Horses of Texas Tech. The Black, Red, and Whites also have number 14, Dylan Cantrell returning. 58 receptions last year, 675 yards, but he had 8 touchdowns last year for the Raiders of Texas Tech. Well, as Oklahoma saw, and as a lot of you guys saw last year, not a lot of defensive capabilities there for Texas Tech. But it's not like you can just go out there and expect to beat Baylor and a couple of the other conference wins they had without some stops, right? Well, that's true. So, helping them get those stops, at least returning, Jordan Brooks, number 20, Jordan Brooks returns, as does number 7, Jashaw Johnson. We'll start with the linebacker, number 20, Jordan Brooks. 86 total tackles for the young gun, 1 forced fumble, 0 fumbles recovered, and 0 interceptions for the linebacker, however. But in the DB slot, you got to have plenty of DBs in the Big 12, and trust me, Texas Tech has a good one. Take a look at these stats. Number 7, Jashawn Johnson, 77 tackles, 3 forced fumbles. Didn't recover any of those fumbles, however, and had 2 interceptions to add to the 3 forced fumbles. So caused 5 turnovers last year for Texas Tech single-handedly. Trying to keep things afloat, their former quarterback, Cliff Kingsbury, 2001 grad from Texas Tech, and has been with Raider Nation since 2013. A coaching staff, he's 24 for 26 as a winning percentage record in Lubbock. That is a 48% winning percentage. Bowl games, just about there too, even. 1-1, 50%. Division titles since 2000. They did tie with Oklahoma in 2008 for a division championship, but however, they did not qualify for the conference title game in 2008. That's as close as Texas Tech has been since the turn of the dime in 2000. All right, this is going to be very entertaining ball game right here. Of course, on this side you have Kingsbury, and then on our side you have Lincoln Riley, who quote-unquote played and coached there. Ruffin McNeil, who coached there, was actually their interim coach once the whole Mike Leach thing came out. For the rest of that year, I believe that was 2009, 2010. For the rest of that year, Ruffin McNeil actually took over the play calling and head coaching duties in Lubbock. Now he's the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma, or I guess assistant coach at Oklahoma. See how long that stays. See how long Mike Stoops stays along with that title change. That'll be interesting. So, the former gunslinger, Lincoln Riley, goes up against his former team, Cliff Kingsbury. Does that sound familiar? Well, it should, because Baker Mayfield, the OU quarterback, also transferred in from Raider Nation. And this time, the game will be played luckily in Norman. Last year, of course, the game played in a late night in Lubbock. Plenty of points scored. NCAA records broken in that game last year. Hopefully it's not that bad this year in a home game for the Sooners. I'm thinking that this one's probably going to be homecoming. Because we'll have 2 more home games left, I believe. West Virginia and TCU. And they're not going to make it West Virginia. That's going to be the final game of the season. Homecoming probably TCU probably too late in the year. So I kind of see this game right here, TCU, being the homecoming game this year. I mean, Texas Tech being the homecoming game this year. But nothing official yet. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Coming up next weekend, we'll preview the much-hated team from Stillwater, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State. But for now, for the Texas Tech preview, this has been Harry James Taylor. Thanks for watching. You can find me on Facebook, Harry James Taylor. Tweet me at Sooner_fan_OK. And all these are also up on my YouTube cast, Boomer Sooner 1982. Thanks for watching, everybody, and Boomer Sooner. I am out of here.